The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with eXp Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing today?
Doing good, Sean. Good to be back talking high school sports with you.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, Kevin. We've been doing a couple of special reports. Both of us been real involved in baseball. You with Golden Isles baseball, Glen Academy Dugout Club baseball, Brunswick High Dugout Club baseball, and me with Ware baseball. So we've been all over the place, all over South Georgia and the 912 area covering baseball. And Kevin, we really don't have anything finishing up or starting off right now with spring sports. We're kind of like right in the middle of everything. So we thought we'd just take the day and bring people up to speed on some things that are going on. We want to talk about baseball in this first segment here and just kind of bring everybody up to speed on who's doing what in each classification.
Yeah, a lot of good baseball being played around Southeast Georgia. And, you know, as we're getting ready to flip the calendar from March to April, everybody's definitely into, region action now, and some of the playoff pitchers starting to take shape, some key series coming up, certainly in all classifications as people jockey for playoff seeding and playoff positioning. So, obviously the baseball playoffs are going to start a little bit earlier this year. So we're starting to wind that way. And obviously from about mid-April on, it's going to be postseason baseball. So it should be a lot of fun on the baseball diamond around Southeast Georgia.
Exactly. So let's just start it off down in Single A. We'll go from low to high. Single A Division II. We're going to feature the Charlton County Indians. Charlton comes into today. It's a 14-2 with 8-1 on their region record, which is really, really good, only losing the one region game. They got 2 big wins this year. Looking back over the schedule, they beat Ware County, who was a deep playoff team last year, by a final score of 7-3, and they also beat Brantley County, who's playing really, really good baseball this year, 11-3. So Charlton with some big wins under their belt. Of course, we put on our cover of our last magazine, Kevin, Ian Vickers. You had a chance to interview Ian, but Coach Thad Marchman down there has been doing a great job. Got another solid team. Look for them to be there at the end there this year.
Yeah, they lost a lot of talent in their senior class from a year ago, particularly a lot of offensive production. So that's kind of been the key for them is, replacing those guys, particularly offensively in that lineup. But they're built around those 2 pitchers they have, and with 2 guys that can certainly throw like those 2 guys in the 3-game series in the state playoffs. They're going to be hard to beat. Went to the state championship round a year ago. Good chance to make it back there again this year.
Yeah, look for them guys to be playing deep into April, like you said, Kevin. We'll move on up to Single A Division I now. I chose the McIntosh County Academy Buccaneers, 12-7 on the season, only 2-4 in the region, but they played some tough teams. They got swept by ECI, which is a really good baseball program, but took 2 out of 3 out of Portal this past week, 13-10 and 14-3. And Coach Mike Campbell doing a good job down there for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I think they're trying to build something in Darien, and like you said, a little bit, below 500 in the region right now, but hopefully they can, turn that around and make a push here late in the season and try to do some damage once they get into the postseason.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, getting in and getting through. So, but then that moves us up to AA. A lot of really, really good teams, Kevin. In AA, it was hard to pick. I mean, you could have picked Vidalia, you could have picked Brantley, you could have picked, Appleton County, but I chose Jeff Davis because Jeff Davis, if you go down to Hazelhurst and look in their trophy case, there's several state championship cups sitting down there. So we chose Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis comes into or sitting in the season right now, 13-5, 8-1 in their region. Big wins over Appleton County this year. Beat Appleton County twice, as a matter of fact. I think they beat them 5-3. And I can't remember what the other score was. Then they beat Calvary Day, who's a very, very good, talented baseball team. Beat Calvary Day 7-1, and then also beat TCC, which is a big 6A school. Thomas County Central playing good baseball. Matter of fact, Thomas County Central beat Ware earlier this year. They beat Thomas County Central 4-1, and then going into region play, took 2 out of 3 from Cook County, which is another good baseball program over there in Adel. So, Coach has got them rolling over there. Jeff Davis, like I said, I don't know what the state championship. I know it's 3 out of the last 5 or something like that, Kevin. But they're really, really talented over there in Hazelhurst, and look for no different for this end of this season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, they're looking good in region right now, but wherever they end up in the region, they're not somebody you want to see opposite yourself
No.
in a playoff bracket, and you certainly really don't want to have to go to Hazelhurst to play them. But they're a team that when they show up, they expect to win. They know how to win, and when you go to their place to play them, you kind of know you're up against the 8 ball, and they play good, sound, fundamental baseball. Always know how to hit, pitch, play defense, and again, like you say, they're well coached. So obviously, sounds like they're on their way to potentially playing for another state championship again this year. They're certainly going to have a say in it. They're one of the contenders there in Class AA, and a lot of good baseball in the state of Georgia now. Don't get me wrong, but certainly Jeff Davis knows how to get it done, and we'll see if they can do it again this year. But it sounds like they got the ingredients to take a good shot at it for sure.
Yeah, a couple of good, actually junior pitchers on that program right now. Playing really, really good baseball over there. But moving on up to 3A, Kevin, I chose Long County Blue Tide. Long County right now 11-7, 3-3 in their region play, but got big wins this year over Pierce and Brantley. They beat Pierce 7-5, Brantley 7-2. Coach James Hobbs has done a really, really good job down there. As a matter of fact, earlier this year, Landon Runyon, who was actually one of our players of the month last year, threw a no-hitter. So those guys have really got some good pitching, really got some good hitting. So look for the Blue Tide to make a deep run there in 3A.
Yeah, when they don't get any hits, you should win, you would think, unless you're, defense just collapses behind you or he walks some batters in. But, that's exciting stuff for them. And, again, they play some good baseball in recent years. So there's another team, here in Southeast Georgia to keep an eye on.
Yep, definitely so. Moving on up to 4A, you get to your old Blue Bloods, your Standard Bears there, Kevin, and the Wayne County Yellow Jackets. Wayne County 13-6 on the season, already 6-0 in the region. So they swept their 2 region series. They beat Burke and New Hampstead. Big wins earlier in the season over Jeff Davis and Pierce County. Coach Justin McDonald just does a fantastic job over there with the Yellow Jackets. And again, 4A, better look out. They've got some tough competition in 4A, but Wayne County will be there when it's all said and done at the end of the season.
Yeah, they've gotten it done in different ways in recent years, sometimes with loaded offenses, sometimes with great pitching and great defense. And when they have it all, they're tough. And, if you've ever been to Jessup, certainly on a Friday night with those fans right there on top of you, it's a tough place to win. And obviously, when they get into the playoffs, it's a good playoff atmosphere. I've been over there to several playoff games myself, and, Jessup loves their baseball. They love their Yellow Jackets, this time of year. And it's always exciting to see, Wayne playing good. They do have a good home atmosphere there in Jessup. And, again, we'll see. Again, they know how to get it done in the postseason in Jessup. So we'll see what kind of run they can make. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, as Bob Morgan might say.
That's what he's saying. In the words of Bob Morgan, the Bow's a tough place to play.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Moving on up to 5A, I chose the Ware County Gators. Ware County actually right now only 9-8 on the season, 5-1 in the region, but they played a really, really tough non-scheduled season. They lost 4 games, Kevin, by 1 run. They do have big wins this year over defending state champ Pike County, beat them over in Thomasville in the tournament 8-4, and then they do have a win over the Glen Academy Red Terrors. They beat them 5-6 in the second game of the season that they played those guys. They wound up splitting with Glen. So 2 good wins there for the Gators. But they got a big series this week with the Coffee County Trojans. It's going to go a lot into seeding in that region. Excuse me. Right now, I think Greenbrier might be the class of the field there in that region. I think Greenbrier's only lost 2 games all year long. But who knows? You never know what can happen in a 3-game series. And, things go the right way, where maybe can take 2 out of 3 from Greenbrier and put themselves in the playoffs as a 1 seed. But it all starts this week with that Coffee County region tournament, or the region 3-game series.
Yeah, well, I know, as you know, Sean, Coach Hammond's not afraid to load that front end of that schedule in non-region play, to get the guys ready to go, certainly in region action, and then, to face the caliber of teams they might play when it comes around to the postseason. He's not really all that concerned with the overall record. He wants to get his team prepared for region and postseason. And so, maybe sometimes they play some competition that they're maybe possibly not prepared for early on in the season. And that might have been the case this year, as they were kind of, reloading, regrouping, whatever you want to say, in certain spots. But obviously he started the season without a couple of his top pitchers as well. And I know some defensive miscues early on were certainly things that cost Ware County. You know more than me, obviously, if they've gotten any of that stuff straightened out. But it's about time for the Gators to kind of step it up and round into form, getting into the heart of this region schedule, and then coming down the stretch here, zeroing in on the postseason.
Exactly, Kevin. And this team's starting five sophomores in certain games, and those guys have grown up a lot. So those guys have really turned into almost juniors now. So we'll see how those guys go down the stretch there and getting into the playoffs. But look for good things for the Gators here in the playoffs. That moves us on up to 6A. This is a team that you know well, a lot about, Kevin, and that's the Glenn Academy Red Terrors. 18-3 overall, fantastic record. 11-1 in region play, ranked third, I believe, right now in 6A. The only region loss they had, Kevin, was to their crosstown rivals, Brunswick, but they were able to win that city championship by a 3-2 count. But they got big wins this year over Ware, big win over Calvary Day. Coach John Welburn's done a great job since taking over for Coach Magero, and he's got these Glenn Academy Red Terrors rolling right now. You talk about somebody you don't want to see across the bracket from you in the playoffs. I believe it's the Glenn Academy Red Terrors right now.
Yeah, real solid club. I mean, offensively, I think is where they're the most impressive, Sean. They can beat you in a lot of ways. I know the crosstown rival coach, Greg Roberts, has told me more than once that the offense for Glenn is athletic, and they can put pressure on an opposing defense in a lot of ways. I mean, they got guys, that can run the bases, and they do a lot of things there. They hit and run, they steal, they bunt for hits. So they got some good guys at the top of the order that can kind of set the table. Their meat of the order is real strong. And then they got some guys in the bottom of the order, certainly that you can't take for granted. They'd probably be hitting higher in the order in some offenses. I've talked last week with Coach Chuck Ferry about Brandon Casper. He's the ninth hitter in Glenn's order, but he's a guy when you look up, he's always on base, it seems like, whether he's getting a hit, a walk, getting hit by pitch, reaching on an air, he finds his way on. But that middle of the order, Sean, real tough with Hank Noonan. I mean, he hit two balls out of the Wayne-O the other night, and Adam Wainwright Field is not really a hitter's park, particularly a power hitter's park in terms of home runs. He hit a moonshot out of there to left center, then he hit a laser out of there to left center as well. And he's having as good a year as anybody in Southeast Georgia for sure, and probably is a candidate for one of our player of the years as well. And he recently committed to Georgia College and State there in Millersville. But I guess the key for Glenn, Sean, is going to be pitching. Luke Barch is a guy that pounds the strike zone. He's their number one guy right now. Trent Tankersley, who catches and plays third base, is their number two guy. And they've got some guys like Carson Rotola, who started, the other night in their series, who's got a lot of talent, and they need him to kind of step up and maybe be that guy for them as well. And they do have some guys that can get it done out of the bullpen too. But the pitching still going to probably be the key as to how far Glenn Academy can actually go. But offensively, they're really good. I like the way they answer when another team scores, and then also they can score runs in bunches, put up crooked numbers on the scoreboard. And they've got a trend going right now where I don't know exactly what the number is again right now, but anytime they score 6 or more runs, they're undefeated.
Exactly. Well, and then, like I said, got a couple of left-handers. You talk about Rotola, left-hander, got another left-hander in that mix. So if they can get those guys going, they're definitely going to be a tough out in the playoffs. But hey, Kevin, let's take a break. We got some more sports information for you for high school sports here in the 912 coming up right after these messages. But you're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal!
Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Welcome back, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke. He's Kevin Price. And Kevin had a big GACA all-star basketball game this Saturday, and a lot of kids from around the 912 area code played in that game. And I believe you got a little bit of information for us.
Yeah, so these were the GACA, Georgia Athletic Coaches Association games, junior, senior games, the equivalent of the football games, you might remember.
Right.
That were actually played at Glenn County Stadium over the holiday period back in December. So they had the basketball version of this played up at College Park this past Saturday at the Gateway Arena. Not as many kids as we might would think from here in Southeast Georgia. Not really exactly sure how they picked these kids. Also, a lot of the kids have moved on maybe to spring sports. I know obviously a lot going on this past weekend in track and field and various other things. So kids may have just chosen not to participate and all those kinds of things. A lot of kids have already committed to colleges and various things. So maybe just chose not to play. But in the senior boys game, Kamarian Johnson, senior out of Brunswick High School, their top player, all region pick for the Pirates, did play in the senior boys game. Shermiah Flanders, I believe, was supposed to play in the senior girls game as well. Of course, she was the top player for the Brunswick High girls who played in the Final Four in Class 6A this year. And, of course, she was the Region Player of the Year in Region 2 6A last year and this past year. So two good players there representing Brunswick High School in Region 2 6A. And then in the junior boys game, I'll start off with one of the coaches. Bradwell's head coach, Ty Randolph, was an assistant coach for one of the teams in that game. And then one of his own players, Elijah Thurman, out of Bradwell Institute, also played in that game. So two Bradwell Institute Tigers representing the junior boys in the games. And then in the junior girls, Shania Jones, another Lady Pirate from Brunswick High School, played in that game. And then Trinity Jenkins out of Ware County over there in Waycross also played for the junior girls. So that was really it according to the rosters. But again, these games played up in College Park there in Metro Atlanta this past Saturday. So again, good to see Southeast Georgia kids representing their schools and this section of the state playing against statewide competition. Some of the better kids in the state. Sure, there were some college coaches in the stands if they were available. And most of the colleges are done, with their postseason tournaments as well. So, they're out on the recruiting trail. So any of these kids that are uncommitted, a good chance there in these kind of all-star games against top level talent, good chance for them to maybe get seen and get some exposure.
Exactly. Exposure is what it's all about this time of the year, Kevin. Get your talents in front of some of these eyes, and hey, you never know where an offer is going to come from. So another great opportunity for the kids here in 912 to show their abilities on the hardwood. But not only, Kevin, is basketball still popping up with a game here or two, but wrestling still has some stuff going on. And I believe the Brunswick High Pirates this past weekend had a little wrestling venture that they went on.
Yeah, so this was an interesting deal. It was the National High School Coaches Association National Championships. And I'm assuming this is one of those deals where it's kind of like, the football or the basketball where in years past, GHSA wouldn't allow teams to compete once those our own state championship meets and competitions were done. But, this is certainly after the competitive season here in Georgia. But, I guess it was a sanctioned event that we're allowed to participate in. If you want to go and you have wrestlers that want to go, I'm not sure who else went from Georgia or if anybody else from Southeast Georgia went, but Brunswick High School did go. Obviously, BHS, one of the better programs in the state, particularly here in Southeast Georgia. But the one guy we did want to talk about was Brunswick's state champion, Anthony Lowe. Of course, he wrestled 50-0 this year and won a state championship for Brunswick High School. But he finished 5th overall, Sean, in the 195-pound class in the junior division. 70 wrestlers from all over the country in his division. Now, the interesting thing is he made it to the semifinals before he lost 2-1 in overtime to the actual national champion. So he was that close to advancing to the finals. And then in the wrestlebacks, I guess, ended up missing the chance in getting 3rd, and then ended up finishing 5th. But obviously, out of a nationwide competition, to finish 5th overall and lose that close to the eventual national champion says a lot about Anthony Lowe. But in doing so, he finished as an All-American. And according to Coach Tom Barlotta there at Brunswick High School, he is the first All-American from Glenn County. So obviously he gets a state championship this season for the Pirates, and then gets this All-American status as well. And obviously he'll be one of the top wrestlers, not only here in Southeast Georgia, but one of the top wrestlers in the state of Georgia going into his senior season next year with the Pirates.
Yeah, that's what people do. Don't forget, he's just a junior.
Right.
So he gets to come back and do it all over again. So congratulations to the Pirates and also to Anthony Lowe there. But another Pirate, Kevin, that we want to talk about, Ryan Rankin. Ryan Rankin is our all boys track, our player of the year from 2022, having another great season on the tracks. You think about Rankin, he's a multi-sport kid. I mean, I think he plays football. He plays basketball. And then, of course, he's, a wizard at the high jump there. But he's having another fantastic season there for the track and field team.
Yeah, he's not too far removed from the basketball team there with Brunswick, which finished 2nd in Region 2 6A and beat Tift in the first round of the state tournament, which, of course, was a classic game at BHS. And then they lost to a really good Jonesboro team on the road in round 2. So he's back out on the track. Of course, he obviously was in great shape. And, runs and jumps out there on the basketball court. And you can see that high jumping ability playing basketball when he dunks and blocks shots and rebounds. And so, he's in pretty good shape, but has to get his timing down and all those kinds of things. But it didn't take him long, apparently, to get going. But in his first meet back, I think it was a big meet up in Atlanta. The record at that meet was a jump of 6'8". He broke that right out of the gate. By jumping 6'10". So he set that meet record. And Sean, that was actually the same jump that he won the state championship with last year. Of course, he went on to clear 7 feet at the 6A meet last year, which is, of course, the official height that is on record. But he did actually already claim the state championship last year at 6'10", and then went on to clear 7 feet. Now, his personal best all of last year before winning the state championship was 7'1", and he actually matched that last week, this past week, at a meet as well. So he's already matched that personal record. And I think at that particular meet, he did try to clear 7'3.5", I think 7'3.5" inches. And I believe he actually cleared the bar, but his foot clipped the bar coming down and knocked it away. And that, I think, is a Georgia High School Association state record, which is why he went ahead and tried for that. So pretty close to that as well. So, we'll see if he can maybe get that before the end of the season. But I think it's pretty safe to say that he's the favorite to repeat. And whether or not he can set any more records along the way, we'll just see. But, of course, regardless of what happens, he knows he's headed to the University of Georgia next year as well to compete for the Bulldogs, and we'll see kind of what happens from there.
Right. And it is a track scholarship, right, Kevin? He's not going for basketball or any other sport. He's going for track. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
congratulations. We'll keep an eye on Ryan because, like I said, I expect he may be able to get that state record this year if he keeps trying. So we'll keep a close eye on that and definitely let everybody know. But hey, appreciate everybody watching On Air with 912 Sports. Stick around. We got a little bit more coming up right after these messages.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.